North Carolina has been called the furniture capital of the world. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, approximately 9.5% of all furniture manufacturing jobs in the United States are located in North Carolina. Over the years, the furniture industry has been instrumental to the growth of one county in particular, Caldwell County. Caldwell County was first formed in 1841 out of pieces of Burke and Wilkes County. While its industry focused around agriculture at the time, Caldwell took the first steps to being a furniture powerhouse in the 1890s with the first openings of furniture manufacturers. While agriculture was still the main industry at the time, more laborers moved from agriculture jobs to manufacturing jobs because of the difficulty of managing a farm.
I think people were needing some work. Primarily, we were an agricultural area, and so I guess people maybe got tired of working on the farm, or when they saw the other opportunities. And then there was a lot of lumber, a lot of timber, a lot of forest around here, and so they were using that. I think they saw that that was something they could do to create resources and create employment for people, I think, people who did not want to farm.
With easy access to quality timber, the North Carolina furniture industry quickly overtook its northern competitors. The railroad was an important aspect of Caldwell County's quick growth, as it allowed large amounts of timber to be transported effortlessly to the nearest manufactory. The railroad also encouraged tourism to Caldwell County, which expanded furniture sales and helped grow the economy further.
It came here, but yes, it made a great impact. It opened up this area for a lot of things. It opened up so that we could export furniture when furniture came into being a few years later. It also opened us up for tourists. People were coming, as Stuffy Smith used to say, from the Flatlanders, were coming to the mountains even in those days, and it gave them a chance to get, they could ride the train into Lenoir, and then there were people who made their living transporting people back and forth to Blowing Rock, which was a tourist area even in those days.
The furniture industry continued to expand in North Carolina until the outbreak of World War I. With the outbreak of World War I in 1914, many furniture factories were repurposed to help the war effort. With citizens focused on the war effort, furniture sales across the United States plummeted. When the Great War finally ended, furniture in North Carolina saw the beginnings of its golden age. Higher quality wood products were being produced at a fraction of the cost, and this translated to higher wages for the furniture industry. During this time, furniture brands such as Bernhardt, Broyhill, and High Point Furniture started to dominate the industry. However, when the stock market crashed in 1929, the Great Depression threw North Carolina into disarray. While every industry was affected, the furniture industry managed to stay alive in North Carolina.
When you look at the Great Depression, it obviously had an effect on the citizens here. But you talk to old-timers sometimes, and they'll just say, well, because we were so self-sufficient, and agriculture was still, even though you had this furniture industry, agriculture was still a big staple. And so they just say that we couldn't find any deer to shoot out. And so it didn't take a gigantic hit. No times were hard, but because these folks and their self-sufficiency and the skills that they had already adopted and learned really helped them get through that pretty well. And so when World War II came, there was a boom like the rest of the United States, but it wasn't like a feast or famine situation.
World War II brought about the end of the Depression, and many factory workers resumed their work. Factories were once again repurposed to help the war effort, and furniture production was greatly slowed. With the lack of male workers, the furniture industry turned to women to help reach production quotas. When the soldiers finally returned home from Germany and Japan, furniture production skyrocketed again, and this led to a new era of prosperity for Caldwell County and Lenoir. Bill Tate, a citizen of Caldwell County, details some of the prosperity the furniture industry brought.
Lenoir back then in Caldwell County was so prosperous with all the textiles and all the furniture factories. And when you would go uptown on a Saturday in Lenoir, you almost had to walk in the street The sidewalks were that crowded. The business uptown was just unbelievable back then.
With the new infusion of capital in the late 20th century, North Carolina quickly became the furniture capital of the world. The furniture industry hit its peak in North Carolina during the early 80s, adding over 90,000 new jobs and opening 200 factories. However, the prosperity would soon come to an end with increased globalization. While the 80s saw an economic boom for the furniture industry, the 90s brought about the decline of furniture in North Carolina. With the implementation of the North American Free Trade Agreement in 1994, North Carolina was hit particularly hard by outsourcing and cost-cutting measures. In order to compete with China, employers were forced to lay off thousands of workers, and over 47 furniture companies closed their businesses for good. This trend continued up until 2006, when furniture giants such as Bernhardt and Broyhill decided to reopen multiple factories and create several hundred jobs. Despite these reopenings, Caldwell County continues to decline economically. According to the United States Census Bureau, the median household income in 2009 was $32,000, while in 1999 it was a little over $36,000. Despite these hardships, the resilience of its citizens has allowed Caldwell County to survive through troubling times.